Welcome back, guys. This is the Game One Loves Forever, the golf podcast. Today, I have my good friend Omar joining us, and we're just going to go and kind of introduce Omar and kind of see how he got into golf. And Omar, thanks for coming on today. Appreciate you, buddy.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of
Appreciate
course.
you having me in your podcast.
Yeah, and it's episode 3 with Omar. So
Número tres.
yes, and so Omar, how did your golf journey start? We'll just cut right into it.
So my golf journey actually started back in high school. I didn't play in a golf team or anything like that. Didn't even think about golf, but it was an elective that my soccer
Nice,
coach
nice.
at the time. Well, he wasn't our soccer coach at the time, but Mr. Gary Summerhays. He was a football coach, soccer coach, golf coach back in the days. But at the time, he was teaching a golf class, and I was like, "What the heck? My buddies are doing it. I'm gonna do it." So I signed up. It was my senior year of high school, so back in 2001, 2002, and that's how I got in it. We ended up taking the class for the semester. Went out to the driving range, worked on our drivers and our couple irons, and then
Did they have with the class? Did they actually have a pro come out and teach you guys, or was it literally grab a bucket and swing away?
grab a bucket and swim away. But Mr. Summerhays' brother, Bruce Summerhays,
Yeah.
was in a senior tour at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
So I mean, all the Summerhays played golf, and they were all really good golfers.
Yeah.
So I've always heard nothing but great things about them. So I think my soccer coach, or Mr. Summerhays, was was a really good golfer then because of his
Yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do they say? The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
Yeah.
With that.
So I know. Did you? So I'm assuming there. I know when I met you, there's a little gap in there, right? So,
Oh yeah.
So that's when you started. When did you pick it back up again? Did you know how did that look?
I picked it back in like 2010, 2011.
Okay.
I did Apple Mountain. I think a lot of people know Apple Mountain. No, it's a really
Yeah.
tough course. It's very discouraging. So after I finished playing, I didn't pick it up
Yeah.
until probably about about a year ago with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
about a year ago. And it was more than anything just just to kind of get out there and see if I could swing those golf clubs. But that's more recently, about a year ago.
Okay. Nice. So I know that you recently started playing more often, and what kind of brought that about? What triggered it? Because I know when you first started playing, maybe once a month, just go out when you can. What kind of brought about that change more recent?
I think the weather, for sure. The weather changed. Being out there with the elements, getting some sun. I think also the fact that I feel like it's something to do with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
My wife plays golf. She grew up playing golf, and I think it's something that we can both do together.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the reasons why. And I honestly think, as far as golf goes, when I've always golfed, I always had a couple drinks.
Yep. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's a social event.
it's a
too,
social. Yeah,
right?
no,
It's
and
social,
it is.
yeah.
And it is. And I was telling my wife this. I was like, you know what, babe? I really like golf, and I really want to know whether or not I'm good or not.
Yeah.
So going forward, golf, if I'm gonna stop drinking, I'll have a beer after.
Yeah.
But I'll stop drinking, and if I'm really, if my scores are still the same, if I'm still shooting in the 100s
Yeah.
and 110s or 120s, then I'll stop
Yeah.
playing golf. That way, I know for sure that's not my sport. So I did that. Started realizing, I'm actually decent.
Yeah, yeah.
Then my swing starts getting better. My wife's golfing with me, and she's kind of telling me how I'm improving. And I actually golf with one of my buddies who I've golfed with a couple times when I first started golfing with you, and he actually complimented me and said, "Oh wow, like your swing's gotten better. You're
Yeah.
getting closer to the pin." And I was like, "That's pretty cool," because me golfing, I think I'm like taking very slow steps.
Yep.
But actually, they're a little
Yeah, I
bit
know
more.
you progress. Yeah.
Yeah, my progression's got there.
I mean, yeah, just like you said, in the time since when we first played together at Apple Mountain and to now when I've seen you play, we go play a little 9-hole in the morning. And yeah, I mean, your drives are straight. There's more power. I mean, your irons are chipping. Of course, like any golfer, it doesn't always go together all at once.
Nope.
but I mean, you can definitely see the progression.
Yeah,
I
if you
mean,
take a couple of good shots from
yeah,
a couple of plays, times
yeah,
that I've golfed a long time ago, and Adam, yeah, it'd be the greatest nine
yeah,
holes I've
yeah,
played,
yeah,
or 18
yeah.
holes.
You could put them all together and probably shoot under par or so.
Definitely, definitely.
I thought actually that brings up an interesting point. I just thought of this. I've always wanted to do, um, or not do, but see if I could have birdied every hole at my home course, like Empire Ranch, and to see play every hole until I can birdie it. Which I know. Think going back, I haven't birdied every hole. Um, for sure, probably half of them I haven't birdied. That course is my nemesis. I love it, but yeah, it's definitely it's like a spot golf for me. Going back to putting all your shots together, um, what what do you think? Did you take lessons, or was it just kind of playing more often?
Chelsea and I took lessons from her old golf coach
Mm-hmm.
instructor at Hagen Oaks, and I feel like I've always had like a solid foundation, concept. I
Yeah.
clearly remember Coach Summerhay always telling when you're hitting, you always want to face it with the belt buckle, like
Yep.
and that's
Yep.
kind of like my one thing that I've always thought of. So I think I've always understood the concept.
Yeah.
When we took that private with her instructor, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that
Like private lessons.
private lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just worked on a couple things, and then I realized I can hit it straight. And I think
Yeah, I think, I mean, you've always had, like I told you this, you've always had a great swing. You always had great mechanics. I think it was just the power, right? The power part.
the power and also the no alcohol.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
is that is the
Yeah.
number one thing for me.
But now, I mean, you can, hit your drives and definitely got a little more, you're more versatile with each club, which is nice.
I don't need a
like
new
each
driver anymore
distance.
like I
Yeah.
thought I did.
Well, still get that putter.
Yeah,
Get that
no,
Scotty Cameron.
yeah, that's
That'll change your life.
no, that's a birthday gift
What?
from the
Yeah,
wife.
one way or another, that'll change your life. Either you love it, or you're like, why did I spend that much on a Scotty?
True.
But everyone I know who has one loves it and won't go back. So I think, yeah, if you're getting that for a gift, I mean, I think that's, yeah, you'll be,
And from what I hear is like everybody that has a putter like that, it's like something that you hold on basically
Oh, yeah.
forever. It's what
Yeah.
you're one and done.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of the guys we golf with, I think he's had his for like 15 years,
Oh, wow.
20 years. Yeah. For sure I know it's at least 15. Matt,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
Matt had one, and then yeah, everyone else who gets them is like that's and when I first started buying clubs, I would always try to fix the driver or buy a new driver, and waste money that way. And I realized drivers night. I mean, yes, everyone gets off the tee, everyone wants to hit it 300 yards, but really, I mean, they say, drive for show, putt for dough. And I mean, I think that's where I lose all my strokes. I've said this before. It's all for me. I lose all strokes around the green. So now that I finally said, no, you know what? I need to invest in a good putter, get a good one, get it measured, get it weighted for me. And then, and I mean, I mean, I mean, everyone's going to, have bad days putting, but I definitely see a difference.
I agree.
So,
I think Chelsea always says this. I think it's her dad or her family's always said, it's all about the short game. It's chipping a putt, or it's always played. I think the game's always played within 100 yards.
oh, yep.
That's kind of like
Yeah.
the motto that I've kind of heard, and because of that, I've frequented a lot more smaller 9-hole
Yep.
courses that have par three, maybe a par five, but they're probably about 110, 140 yards, and I think that's kind of what's helped me.
Yeah.
I really love my 8-iron. I really love my 56.
Yeah.
My sand wedge too.
Yeah. I love the sand.
Yeah.
I've said in previous episodes, yeah, I love the sand. And I think, we were joking last time we played that, we'd rather be in there sometimes.
Yep.
We'd rather be in there than anywhere around the green, or at least we're okay if we get into the sand. We're not scared. So yeah, so you mentioned the smaller courses. Yeah, I don't know if have you ever played Foothill golf course? It's like a little.
did.
So it's a little 3 par 27 9-holer. I mean, everything's maybe 120 yards, maybe. I think that's where I first started learning to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I would go out with my dad, and just, pitch and putt around. I never really took it serious. I took it more serious in high school, and that's where kind of really when my golf journey really started. But have you played that one?
I played it probably right after high school with some buddies. So yeah, we just carry 2, 3 clubs.
Yep.
And then just walk it. So yeah, but not recently.
Yeah.
But I definitely need to play that. I play Bing Maloney. It's a really cool course.
Yeah.
I play it with
I
my.
haven't played. I don't think I played that one. Yeah, since high school too.
It's fairly challenging, I guess. But it's got a couple par fours, like 1 or 2 par 5s. You get in and out fairly quick though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for everyone, if you don't know, Being Maloney has an executive course, so like a par, what, 30?
32, I think.
32.
32 or
So
36.
yeah. So 32, and then they have a full length 18
Yeah.
course. So you can play the executive, kind of get through quick if you're just looking to play 9 holes, or you can play the full length course. So that's kind of what Omar's talking about. Has it helped you playing smaller course? I mean, you mentioned like working on the 100 yards in.
Yeah, I think what's sometimes discouraging for newer golfers is, yeah, I mean, you go to the driving range and you see these guys, show up with their bag and then just wham, wham with their driver, wham. And I've obviously I've been to the driving range. I've always heard those guys. You hear them.
Yep.
You don't need to see them. You hear them.
Yeah.
And then I just finally told myself, I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna worry about the long game. I'm more worried about the what Chelsea was telling me, 120 yards. So worked on my 7, my 8, my 9, my 56, and my pitching wedges, and I decided to take that and start going to Land Park.
Yep.
Land Park's also one of my favorite 9 holes. It's super super chill. It's pretty wide. You think it's actually not that wide, but it's pretty wide. A lot of trees. You see a lot of families. A lot of
Yeah.
a lot
The
of families.
I mean, people walking their dogs right through the fairway.
Oh yeah,
and, like,
all the time.
and it's crazy. They don't even look up. They don't. They just walk like, oh, they won't hit me. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you do wait, but sometimes you don't see. I mean, you may not see them, or you slice or hook,
Or you see them as you're
yeah, as you're hitting,
as you're
like,
hitting.
yeah,
Yeah.
as the ball's heading towards them.
Oh, that's 4.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I agree.
I sense there's a pattern. You like 9 holes.
Oh, 100%.
You-
100%.
You've anyone who's in the Sacramento area, all these courses that Omar mentioned are 9 holes, 9 hole
Yes.
courses.
I think for me personally, it's mentally.
Yeah.
I prepare myself for 9. I've probably played 18 holes. Not in the last month or so, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice. But 9 holes, I'm there. I think it mentally prepares you. It kind of builds up that that confidence that we all want. In any sport that we take, whether it's running or jujitsu or whatever sport.
Yeah.
I think it helps build confidence. And it's there for a reason. It's there to help us newer players, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. And you're not tied in to what, 4.5 hours. You can get in, like, let's say you tee off, let's say what, 6 a.m. You're done by 8, maybe 8:30, worst case.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not, oh man, especially new people or new players, I think, like, they get tired after what, 13 holes, usually 14. Especially if you're not playing well to start. I mean, it just kind of gets demoralizing. But yeah, I think the 9 hole is very, great way to start. Find your 9 hole courses. I mean, I think it's helped Omar tremendously just in his golf journey and getting better and not getting fatigued, right?
Nope.
Because whether you play good or bad, it's like, oh, 9 holes, 2 hours, I'm back to whatever you're doing on the weekend, back to work, whatever, after work, you can still get it in. So, yeah.
I got a buddy of mine that started golf around the same time. His name's Omar, just like me.
Yeah.
And we were
Wait,
just
is this
talking.
a real friend?
It's a real friend, yeah. Or you texted me that other day.
my friend Omar.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Asking
myself
for
here.
a friend, yeah.
He started golfing around the same time I did, and he comes from the soccer background, and he just really loves the sport because he is basically repeating the same course but playing against himself type of thing.
Yeah.
And we talked about that course quite a bit. It's just very helpful, very helpful for new players.
Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing is you can play the same course every day and it's a new journey, new, just new shots that you haven't hit, or it's a whole new game. And like you said, you're only playing against or you're playing the course and against yourself,
Yep.
right? Even though it's funny when you play someone or you're playing against someone, they have no bearing on what you're doing, right? I mean, maybe mentally, but they're not playing defense. They're not shouting when you try to hit the ball. They're not trying to move the ball. So yeah, it's a very interesting game when it's just you.
It's all mental, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I started playing golf and then started looking at all these other athletes that everybody knows Michael Jordan,
Yep.
really good golfer, and how competitive he was.
Yeah.
I mean, still is, but on the
Yeah.
court.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait, that's why he plays golf, because it's all you're competitive against yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're playing against yourself. It doesn't matter what's going on out there.
Yeah.
What matters is what's in front of you and what's to the left or to the right of the hole.
And he's a avid gambler, so
True.
that always
True.
that always helps on the course because you can. I mean, there's so many games, so many. I mean, every hole you. Could
I haven't
bet.
been invited to those games yet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless if it's gross, meaning there's no like handicap, they probably want to invite you. No. But yeah, I mean, it's a there's so many different games on top of the game you can play.
That is true.
One of my favorite games is I mean, it's a normal game, but match play, which is so you're playing. So instead of an 18 hole match, it's 18 matches, one hole. So, and that's just kind of like a fun way of saying it. But really, you're playing each hole is a match. So it doesn't matter what your score is at the end of the day. You're just playing who can win the most holes. And usually it's straight up, unless you're handicapped or you're actually playing in a league and they'll handicap it for you. But essentially, and this works well for me because I always have a blow up hole. There's always one. I'll triple, get a 7 on a 4, or the other day, I got a quad on a par 3. What is that? 8, an 8? No, 7.
Par 3,
A 7 on a par 3. Yeah, geez, easy math here. Yeah, 7 on a par 3, and just destroyed my on my way to break 80, and it just killed it.
Oh,
right there.
man.
Yeah. So anyway, so things like that, like just destroy my rounds in general, for stroke play. But in match play, you have one bad hole, you only lost one hole, so you're only down 1 point, right? So I really like that game, just because every hole is literally a new chance, right, to get it back, and so that's just one fun game I kind of like.
Sounds pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing about golf too is like with the handicap system. So for instance, like if we played against each other and played with a handicap, you would get pops on certain holes. So if you bogeyed it and I parred it, we would tie.
Oh.
So it gives you an extra stroke on certain holes. And I'm guessing you don't have a handicap yet, right?
No.
No, yeah.
No.
What, talk about courses. What is your favorite course here? Or actually get anywhere, I guess. It doesn't have to be a Sacramento area.
I'm going to say Apple Mountain.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the best courses just because of the scenery. You're out. It's beautiful. But it's also one of the worst courses that I've ever played in.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, you're right. It's fun, but for maybe the first 5 holes, you don't use your driver. No need. It's spot golf. You don't have any even lies.
It's deceiving.
Everything's on a hill.
It's deceiving. You think you're flat,
yeah,
but you're at a hill, and that's when it's like really challenging because you don't when you're at the driving range.
Yeah, everything's flat.
Everything's
level.
flat. Yeah, so you've never hit your club this way, that way, however many ways. So yeah, that is true.
Yeah, yeah, that course is. I mean, it's fun. Regardless. I mean, you've had fun, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, even though you
yeah.
you don't play well or it's frustrating at times, like you said, but it's definitely a fun course.
Well, you're out with Mother Nature. The air is probably just a little bit better. The temperature's a little bit cooler.
Yep.
So it's definitely just the fact of being out there at Apple Mountain, I think, is pretty fun.
So for everyone, Apple Mountain is up in Camino, California. Kind of, it's like foothills, right? It's up there.
Further up.
Yeah, it's
a little bit past Placerville.
Yeah, past Placerville, kind of wine country up there. Yeah, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's surrounded by trees. I mean, if you didn't know it was there, you never would know it was there.
It's right by that
So
one winery where they sell those that
yeah, the
dessert.
apple turnovers,
Yeah, the apple.
or
No, it's
it's like
something.
apple pie
Yeah, with vanilla ice cream.
vanilla ice cream in the middle on
Yeah,
top. Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty.
that's usually the stop after, right? It
Yeah,
makes the round. No matter what you shot, makes the round
way
that
better.
much better.
Tastes
Yeah,
sweeter.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think you on one hole, right? You can when you finish you finish out, and then you're like looping around, and you can kind of see, and you're
Then you'd
like,
have a
yeah,
little like a
yeah.
call.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
yeah. Hey,
I'm turning around.
yeah,
I'll be there in 5. Cool.
yeah.
Your order's already
You
ready.
come
The
up on
little
hole 7, yeah,
they should have
and
like a little Amazon Prime locker box. You
oh,
put your code in.
they would make bank,
Oh,
dude.
I
Yeah,
know.
if that got out, yeah, everyone would be buying one on that whatever turn it is. But
Yeah.
so what's your home course?
Ansel Hoffman.
Ansel, oh, that's right, Ansel Hoffman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that Ansel Hoffman's where I learned how to hit the low punch. Because for everyone who doesn't know, Ansel Hoffman has trees, trees everywhere, and they're thick.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, they grab your ball. I mean,
They'll swallow them.
yeah, you hit one into the tree, and it may not even come down. Sometimes, I mean, I know that's like, I think one time happened to me, and then happened to you too.
Yeah, it's a couple times.
Once we played, yeah, and it's just like nobody saw it come down, and so you just gotta take.
It's almost like those trees are alive and they're just playing games with you.
Yeah.
They're like, got this one,
Yeah.
got this other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did like because that you're always if when I first started playing there, you're always underneath a tree or somewhere, and you got to punch it through, or you have a forest of trees, and you try to hit that one little spot, even though you probably shouldn't. Try for that hero ball.
Life is a risk.
Yeah,
You gotta risk
take
it.
it.
No risk, no reward.
Yeah. And then what's a course that you want to play, or it's like your dream course right now?
I mean, I think it's probably tied. Now that I think about that, it's probably obviously Edgewood, just because celebrity golf tournament, all those guys do it. I saw Canelo there last year.
Yeah.
Didn't see him this year. I'm gonna say Pebble Beach.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
very iconic.
Yeah.
I think when I think of golf, I think of Pebble Beach.
Yep. And Edgewood is in South Lake Tahoe.
Yes.
For everyone.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, they hold a American Century Celebrity Golf Tournament every year in July. It's always a great event. I mean, we've been the last 2 years, and
Made really good friends with Canelo.
yeah,
He just doesn't. He hasn't accepted my friend request yet.
yeah. Maybe once he sees this.
Yeah. We'll tag him.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll tag him.
Yeah. There you go. And then Pebble Beach. I mean, yeah. I mean, I still haven't played it yet myself, and that's just still on my bucket list. And it's just crazy too that we're so close, and we've never played it. I mean, you're just got back into golf, but I mean, I've thought about it every year, every birthday, anytime. But now after COVID, you have to stay there in order to play.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's a little bit harder to get on, but I did hear through the grapevine that if you actually call 24 hours before, so let's say we want to play tomorrow, but you have to be ready to go, you call today and say, hey, are there any open spots? And sometimes they'll fill you in where they're missing. So let's say a threesome's coming out. The only thing that sucks is if it's me and you or we have a foursome, odds are they're not going to have room for four.
So they'll spread you guys out.
Yeah, they'll either spread you out or just maybe one can get on. So that's, if you're trying to play with your buddies, you got to stay there.
What was that one course you did? I think it was last year. It looked like Pebble Beach, but it was out.
Yeah, it was
that one was super nice.
Poppy Hills.
Yeah.
Poppy Hills. Yeah, that's in Monterey also.
Okay.
And yeah, that was I mean, if you have a NCGA card, you can play there for a discounted rate. So that one was nice because Pebble Beach now, the Pebble Beach course, and I think Spyglass are like $675, and that's just to play. And then obviously you're not going to get a cart. I would walk it anyway, but then you don't have to. But most people say get a caddy, and then you got to tip him. So you're probably in just to play the round of golf for $1,000.
So is that common to like tip a caddy?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or no, I'm sorry, not that part, but you have to get a caddy. Is it?
You don't have to. I mean, you can just play the course, but a caddy's nice for maybe the first time, just so they can give you advice, tell you where to hit. I mean, read the green for you. Just kind of give you course knowledge that I think if you go out the first time, you may not be as enjoyable because you don't know those things. So go ahead.
So I was supposed to tip you every time we golf in the past.
Yeah, yeah. Damn. Yes.
Dang it! I'm so
It's
sorry,
all right.
man.
Yeah.
Every time we golf, he's always telling me what I should or shouldn't do or
Yeah.
what club. So I didn't know that, and he always jokes about being my caddy.
Yeah.
So
I always say, hey, your caddy agrees,
yeah,
or you should hit this.
proceed with caution with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Or he's like, should I go through the trees or should I punch out to the left, like safe? And I said,
Punch out.
punch out to the left.
Yeah, and I did it.
Yeah.
And it worked out fine.
And then, but the funny thing is, I'll say that for you, but then if I'm doing it, I'm like, oh no, I'm going right through that little gap and trying to get it.
Because it's challenging, right? And that's going back to it. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's like you know what you can do. You could punch out where I did. I trust me. I see it. I'm like, man, if only I could
Yeah.
punch right through those two trees. Where
And it, like you said, it all kind of comes down to like confidence and just doing those shots. But I mean, how often? That's why I like Ansel too. Is sometimes you get to hit those shots that you normally don't hit at other courses, you know. So you always want to do it because it's fun. If you do hit it, it's amazing,
Yeah,
right?
it's a good feeling.
That feeling when you do hit that shot and you clear right through it. I mean, but it is funny too. And I played a few, probably a month ago, and I was trying to hit low underneath the trees. Boom, hit the branch square on, rolled right back to me, literally in the same spot. Hit it again, literally. I mean, not as close, but still just right in front of me. So I'm just, hitting four, still. And it was a par five, so I think I was still like 230 yards out, hitting five.
it's those
in.
trees moving those branches to
Yeah,
catch it and just throw it back at you. They're playing
So
with you.
That's always a fun one too. So, and now, even though I am better now, I don't get as frustrated when that happens. It's just like, you know what? Because I know I can get on a string of like pars, and all of a sudden, yeah, I had a triple bogey or double bogey to start, or maybe hole two, but then by the end, I'm only six over after nine, so I kind of I can recover and usually get a birdie or two, and then go from there. But yeah, Pebble Beach. I mean, we got to do it.
I'm down.
I think. Yeah. I mean,
Once I consistently break 100.
yeah, that's true. That's another
Yeah.
thing too. Is like you
Yeah.
kind of want to be. I would say at least mid 80s to 90 consistently, and then you'll probably have. I mean, the course is gonna be beautiful, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be like an Apple Mountain for you, kind of, experience. Not to put, not.
Yeah, no, but I
speaking of it,
agree.
but-
You definitely it's probably the scenery
Yeah.
being out there in Pebble Beach.
Yeah.
I think that makes it a little bit better.
Yeah, and I do, like you said, recommend Poppy Hills. I mean, that course,
Yeah.
a lot of, I think I don't know if there's cypress trees or, whatever's over there. in
Isn't
Monterey.
there a
I
hole
think
that's like right by the ocean?
not Poppy Hills?
Which one was that one? Or maybe
But there is. I think it's Pebble Beach, and then also, oh, you're thinking Poor Man's Pebble.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the back nine is all in the water. They call it.
Yes.
Pacific Grove.
Yes.
Pacific Grove.
You did that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one
yeah.
that I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's cool too because you can. I mean, it's a little expensive, but it's not $600. I think it's like 90,
That's not bad.
and or you can go early again and just play the back nine, go off on the back nine, and I think it's like $40 to walk. And yeah, that one's all along the water on the ocean. It's beautiful scenery, same kind of thing. And yeah, a lot of people call it, and then maybe that's why they start charging more, because now it's kind of known as Poor Man's Pebble.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. I think I saw some of yours, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I played that one I think twice now. Maybe three times. But yeah, that one's cool too because there's a lot of sand or like sand dunes, and for some reason, like even if you hit wayward shots, you can always find your ball, which is kind of nice. But you're hitting out of sand, which I know you don't have a problem with.
No problem here. At least not till
Yeah, at least not pebble sand.
Yeah, not pebble sand.
Beach or
we'll see
Pacific
about that
Grove.
when we get there.
Yeah. I would also recommend Poppy Hills. I think Spyglass. I think they're the same price, $675. That's just crazy. I know when I was a kid, and granted, I know inflation and everything, but when I was a kid, I think it was like 250, 275,
Oh wow.
which probably was
About right.
relatively is probably a lot of money too back then. Um, so, and I almost got to play it when I was a kid because I had a friend who's like uncle or something could get us on, and for whatever reason, at the last second, changed it, and we just played. I forget what course we played, but yeah, I was like that was the closest I ever came. Now I just gotta pay my own way, I guess. Start saving.
Usually the way it is
Yeah,
sometimes, right?
yeah,
But I think that one's probably good for something special, right? Just a nice little treat yourself type of
yeah, yeah.
course.
I almost thought too, like, if eventually just on my own. I mean, I want to play with buddies or play with, a foursome of our group. And, but I always thought maybe just one day, just give them a call, say, hey, you guys got an opening on a
Be
Thursday
like,
or,
yes,
yeah.
tomorrow morning,
Yeah, I know.
6
Yeah,
a.m.
exactly. Like, oh, calling to work.
I'm sure Matt would
So,
understand.
yeah. Yeah. It's like once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
Um, Another cool course out there, not in that area, but like Half Moon Bay. I think it's Half Moon Bay Links. It's over there by the Ritz Carlton.
Hmm.
Same kind of thing. It's kind of on the water. You have most of the course I think is kind of inland, and then you have some cool holes that are on the water, and it looks kind of like Ireland hills. I think it's Ireland, Scotland. Anyway, the Highlands part where the hills high above the water, kind of like Mendocino, that kind of style. So the holes are up there.
Oh, got it, got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of the scenery anyway. But yeah, that's one I've wanted to play too, and I think that one's about $180.
It's not
Which
bad.
is about, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, for those courses out there.
As long as you're not hitting over the ocean
Yeah.
or rocky area,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I'd be probably spending a lot of money in balls that week,
Yeah.
that in that course.
Yeah. Well, I know the wind can be crazy out
Yeah,
there, just
just
on the
takes it one way
coast.
or the other.
Yeah. Um, yeah. I would have to agree right now. Like my dream course or bucket list course is, yeah, Pebble Beach right now. I know too. And I gotta look it up too. But I know there's a lot of East Coast courses that are amazing. But it's just it's awesome being in California. We have all those courses
Up
right
and down the
here.
coast,
Mm-hmm.
even in the mountains,
Mm-hmm.
Truckee.
Yeah,
There's
it's true. Yeah, Truckee has.
yeah.
I think it's Old Greenwood. I think they play a PGA Tour event there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean Truckee. You're right. Truckee has a whole bunch. It's just it's endless. I mean and we're lucky and we can almost play year round too, which
Yeah,
is really nice.
because you can go up to the coast, you can go up
Mm-hmm.
anywhere. We're actually going for our fourth year wedding anniversary up to
Oh, nice.
Mendocino,
Yeah.
and we're
Congratulations on 4 years.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You made it.
I made it right behind you guys.
Yeah.
And my mother and father-in-law are joining us. And my
Okay.
father-in-law golfs, my mother-in-law golfs. So I think we're gonna play a little foursome at that. There's I think it's called Little River Inn. It's like nine hole.
9 hole. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna play that.
Yeah.
One of the days there, or maybe 2 days, depends on how we do.
Yeah. Once you play one, you get the itch, and then yeah, you want to play another
Usually the
day.
first nine is always a warm up, and then once you repeat it, it's like we never did that first nine.
Yeah.
This is the first. This is the one that counts.
It's the warm up.
Yeah.
It usually does take, even for me, even if I warm up and hit a small bucket. I mean, it still takes me like, I don't know, 3 holes to warm up.
Takes me about
Yeah,
five.
yeah. Yeah, and usually I'm always recovering from my first, 3 holes mistakes. So, like I told you the other day, I was, 15. So hole one was a par four, got a 7. And then the next hole is par 5, got an 8. So already I'm 15 strokes, after 2 holes.
But
And
that's the thing about golf. I feel like you don't. I mean, you can sit there and focus and boil on those first 2, 3 holes that you did quote unquote horrible, but you have
yeah.
14, 15 holes that you could, like you said, you could win those back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, I don't ever get, if that happens, and even if happens later, I never really get too down. I never get really too. I mean, definitely get high. If you birdie or hit a great shot, But definitely anything bad that happens, I just don't, like you said, like the next shot could be your best shot,
What
your
does
greatest shot.
Ted Lasso say? He says you need to
Oh
have
yeah,
the memory
memory of a
of a
goldfish. Yeah,
goldfish.
yeah.
That is one of the. I think that's a good tip
That's
for golfers out there.
it is
You got to have a
definitely.
memory of the goldfish.
Yep. Yeah, you got to forget instantly of even a good shot. Like you need. Yep. As soon as you hit it, forget it.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Memory of a goldfish, guys.
Yeah. What so far? What would you say is your best golfing moment? Whether, whether it's on a course or with your spouse or I don't know, just
Best golfing
what's
moment, I would say, was last year. Met Canelo. Not
nice.
gonna
Okay. Oh
not
yeah, yeah,
gonna
that's right.
Yeah, I met Canelo. I think I said something to him in Spanish. Everybody was telling him in English, but then as soon as I spoke Spanish, he like looked at me, came up, and that's when I took
Yeah.
like the little picture
Oh
slash
yeah,
video.
I remember that.
Yeah, it made my day, and then that's when I realized I could probably golf. If
He
Canelo
said
can
if
do it,
Canelo can do it, yeah.
but that same tournament, that's Stephen Curry. He hit that hole in one.
Oh, that's right. Yep,
Yeah,
last year.
yeah, last year we
We
were.
go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead.
I was gonna say you're probably gonna say the same thing I was, and
Yeah.
then and we so in Edgewood there's like two holes that are right next to each other, and it's the par three or it's par four, and then they walk onto the par three where Curry got a hole in one, and we were sitting there like pretty much the whole time
Yeah,
really,
I'm just kind of
and
watching
kind of
everybody.
watching people come through. It's a cool hole because you can still watch people tee off on the par three, and then you can still see them putt. It's just, and then everyone passes by, right? And that's where you got the picture with Canelo and everything. So that was really cool. And then I don't know, for whatever reason, we were just like, oh yeah, let's go grab a drink or watch eight. I don't know. I think maybe go to the bathroom. Who knows?
Yeah.
And yeah, the moment we walk away and we're walking about 18, we look up on the big screen and we hear just this roar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're like, what the heck? Like what? Like oh, someone birdied or hit a eagle shot or something. And then we look up at the big screen and it's just hole in one, and you see Curry running full sprint down to the hole, and it's like, oh my gosh, like we missed it.
Sports Center was
Yeah.
playing that
I
scene over and over, and we're like, I was just there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, I was in the vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. That's true.
Yeah, that's and everyone would and who knew we were there, or at least on mine, they're like, "Oh, did you see the hole in one? Did you see Curry?" I'm like, no, no.
We heard about it.
But yeah,
The crowd went wild.
yeah, and yeah. I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, so I wasn't like, oh, I need to see Curry, I need to see Curry. Plus, I had heard like his group or like the people following him was just huge.
Santra.
Right. Yeah. It's on, yeah, so like the fans that were just following his group, it's kind of hard to get in. So
Oh,
I
I
think
see what you mean.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I think we were leaving anyway because of that. On top of whatever I don't know whatever reason we were leaving, but I think that was a factor too. If I remember, we just wanted to kind of get out from his group
Yeah, that's right. There was
because
a
it was
big old
huge. Yeah.
like swarm of fans just kind
Yeah.
of.
Just continuously saying
Yeah, it was
with
kind of
Curry's.
not annoying, but I get it.
Yeah, you
But
can see
just
him going.
you
Yeah.
can't walk around it.
I know Derek Carr had a pretty good following too, just because that was the year last year. That was the year when he moved off the Raiders, and so everyone was like, "Oh, Raiders screwed you." They're like, "Don't worry, we love you."
I remember
So
that.
yeah, but yeah. So getting back to Sacramento Kings fan. So I don't think any of us were really. And you were relatively newer to golf, so you're just like, hey, I got Canelo, I'm good.
That's all I wanted
and that's
to
what
see.
you came about, yeah.
I just want to see Canelo.
Yeah.
Got my picture slash video for like 2-3 seconds.
Yep.
That's all that mattered.
Yeah, that's one thing that I always admire or think is funny about you is like anytime you go do something, you always have like that one thing, like for like when we that one thing that you're like, hey, I don't care what we do this whole trip, or I don't care what you want to do, I'll do it, but this is the one thing that I want to do. And I remember walking the course, you're like, I need to see Canelo.
Yep.
That was the
Yep.
the one stipulation. I don't care what we do all weekend.
Yeah.
We don't need to go casinos. We don't, he's like, I want to see Canelo. So, yeah, that's always a funny thing.
You gotta have
that
something.
I know about you.
Yeah.
I've realized.
You gotta have one thing.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking about the beignets, remember?
Yeah, New Orleans.
New Orleans. We just went there for beignets.
Yep. Drove across
Drove
the
across.
country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
That's another
Yeah,
episode.
that's a whole
Remember
nother.
remember
Yeah,
the
it's,
Waffle House, that incident?
oh, geez, yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Oh,
that.
that's my
That
favorite.
was, I mean, not only who knows what was in those things, but the waffles were amazing.
Yes.
The employees were
Oh my goodness.
entertaining.
It was like a show it was like a Broadway show.
Yeah, and I mean it's the South, so I don't even know half the things they were saying
No.
because it was just they're talking so fast and and speaking to each other and
It
yeah,
was
I
very
mean
comical.
yeah,
And I can tell that they loved working there. Like they
yeah.
actually loved it, but it was very comical and it was just a very unique experience. I can't explain it.
You had to
You have to
you had to
go.
be there.
You have to go. It's the one in Baton Rouge
Yeah.
and
Well, I'm
Waffle
sure,
House.
well, I'm sure there's a bunch in Baton Rouge,
Oh,
but
all right. You're right.
go to the one in Baton
Yeah.
Rouge.
We're here.
Yeah.
What's going on now?
Yeah. So, last thing, getting to know you. I appreciate you again coming on. And last thing I'd say, what would be your recommendation or what would be your advice to someone who's starting new? So, kind of what's helped you along the way, or you wish someone told you, a year ago.
I think just basically what my wife has said is, every I think the game's really played anywhere between like 110 to 130 yards, and just focus on that.
Yeah.
If you go to the driving range and you just want to hit all these bombs right off the bat, that's great. It sounds cool, but I mean, I think once you get closer to the tee and to the green, I think it's a short game. So that's my recommendation, and just find your local 9-hole courses.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch here in Sacramento. I just did Emerald Lakes in Elk Grove.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it was tough. It was tough. I think
Yeah.
they have a little section right there, water feature. No, two sections with water features.
Yep.
I think I've lost.
Yeah, I've seen
seven.
it's off of 99. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's off 99. I've always seen that course, and I've just always kind of be like, it looks like a little pitch and putt course. So
No,
no, it's
it's
it's a legit course.
it's a legit course. It's a legit
Okay.
nine
hole?
hole.
Okay.
Legit. Definitely, you want to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
But no, definitely, I think just your 9-hole courses, whether it's your foothills, your Bings, your what's that other one? Land Park.
Land Park. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's Land Park's actually become one of my favorite little courses lately.
Oh, really?
Just I mean, playing with you, playing with Rich, and like you said, just getting out, playing 9 holes, it gets the itch. It kind of
Yeah.
scratches that itch, and in and out, and it's a fun course.
You can get in and out in like an hour and a half. Or one of the early tee times, you could walk it. Which I think that's what I'm gonna do next time, just to get some steps in. But you can walk it. You could get a cart. You could repeat it. So it's a pretty cool course.
Yeah, I think definitely I'm gonna start walking more, for sure. I need to get a push cart.
Are
Yep.
you gonna get the one
Push
that
cart.
like follows you like
Oh
a
no,
robot?
no, I got that. No, not that. If I was gonna spend that kind of money, I'd probably just buy a golf cart. I mean, granted, golf carts are probably like $13,000, and the ones Omar is talking about is probably like 3,000, 4,000. But maybe used, you can buy maybe 1,500, 2,000. But yeah, no, a little $100
Just
push cart. Or,
just get like 5 Roombas.
yeah,
Put them
and put it on
together.
top.
Yeah, and put them on top.
And just follow.
And then just
follow.
you have your hotspot on your phone, and it just follows you.
Yep. So the next thing, appreciate you kind of just talking about your journey, and excited to see, what's to come. I mean, yeah, you've really, in my opinion, you've kind of just taken on your own, and I was joking with Omar too that, he was kind of sneak attacking because I'm like, hey, Omar, let's go play. Or he's like, no, man. And then I find out, he was playing on Thursday in the morning. He was playing every Friday. He was going to the range with another one of our buddies, John. And I'm like, what? Like, you're going to show up all of a sudden and be 10, 15 strokes better. And I'm going to be like, this guy's the next wonder kid. But no, he's been sneaking off and hitting 100 balls a day.
I'm an early riser. I wake up
Yeah.
pretty early in the mornings. So I figured, the golf course is they have, a lot of early tee times, all the
Yeah.
9 holes.
Yeah.
So I get there like around 5:30, 5:45, or, Hagen Oaks, get there pretty early, bucket a ball,
Yep.
which, it's what, like 75 balls, work
Maybe
on one
$10 or
club.
so.
That's honestly what I feel like. I just get a bucket of ball, and then every 10 balls I work with one club,
Yeah.
one club. The club that I feel comfortable with.
Yep.
Not anything new yet. And it also helps that my wife golfs too.
Yeah.
So that helps
That's true.
because we can do it together.
Yeah.
And she loves it. She's a really good golfer. So she kind of gives me some tips whenever I'm lifting my head up after I do it. She's like, babe, you lift your head up. I'm like, oh, thanks, babe. So thanks, babe.
Yeah. 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 So yeah, I was dying when I found out Omar was hitting the range behind my back. And
Hey,
hey, I don't blame you. I mean, there's no better feeling than when you do practice, you do put in the work, and then you go play with your buddies or you play with me, and all of a sudden we're like, Omar, like, dude, you're killing it. Yeah,
thank
right.
you.
And
Appreciate it.
yeah, and yeah, just you busting out those drives that I knew were always in there, but yeah,
Yeah, now they're
yeah, now they're straight. Yeah, just the progression. So I applaud you, and yeah, keep working on it behind my back. It's okay. I won't take it personal anymore.
all right,
Yeah.
all right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So just to kind of end here towards the end, I just always like to do like a fun topic or something, and so what is the weirdest thing that you found in your golf bag? So I know you're new, but you had a golf bag for a while. I'm sure there's got to be something that was
I'm
kind
gonna
of
catch you off.
sticky. Or
I'm gonna catch you off guard from this. The weirdest thing that I have found in my golf bag is the fact that I enjoy golf, because I found it in the in the bag.
Okay,
The
all
bag itself. Let me explain.
You get a little
explain.
philosophical.
Yeah. It's a little philosophical on this.
Yeah.
So the golf bag and the clubs that I currently have are from my father-in-law.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he cleaned it all up. There was nothing in there to be found. Yeah. But if we're thinking about finding something, it didn't. I mean, did it really find me, or the golf find me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my
Okay.
what I found in the golf.
All right.
golf
And then
bag.
maybe your father-in-law, he just cleaned it so well he didn't want you to find anything.
That's
from
true.
The previous. He's like,
That is
oh, I
true.
better clean that out before Omar
Yeah.
sees all my golf secrets.
I know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and the reason why I kind of thought of this was because I just went in there the other day and I was like, man, I need to clean, which I still haven't done, but I was out and around and I'm just like, reaching around forever and I don't have tees, I had to borrow a tee. But anyway, I found like an old power bar, it was rock hard. I'm like, who knows how long that's been in there. I mean, and then I'll find things from like old tournaments, whether it be like a pen or like a ball mark. And then the funny thing that I found was I reached down and I had like a little shot of tequila. And
What type of tequila?
see, I mean, it was, I think, Carmenera or Carmera. It was a C one, and it's
Not
I mean,
Cuervo?
no.
Okay.
No, it was Carmera, I think, something like Carmenera. Anyway, I've seen it on the shelves before, and yeah, who knows how long that had been there, but hot, cold, meaning like the temperature of where we're playing or sitting in my bag and sit in the garage. But my buddy, when I found it, he was like, "Hey, can I have that?" So I'm like, "Sure, go ahead." And he said he hadn't drank in a while, so he did. He played better, and then yeah, he said he felt it right away. It kicked in.
What you guys don't know is that's actually JR's secret sauce.
Yeah.
That's what he does. That's why he's so good.
Yeah. Or I just give it to my friends so I look better.
That's true.
Yeah, I do like to bring some birdie juice on the course. And then what is it's kind of two-part here, but what's the craziest shot you've ever seen?
Seen, I didn't see it. I was there. We were in the presence, but it was Stephen Curry's.
Okay, his hole in one.
His hole-in-one, yeah. That's what I knew. Like, you'd obviously seen Canelo golf and stuff, but then seeing, Stephen Curry hit it, I'm like, you know what? This golf thing, I mean, these guys didn't grow up playing golf.
Yeah.
That's why it's like it's such a cool sport
Yeah.
to pick up, at a later time in life,
Yeah.
and that you can practice and through consistency and patience get a little bit
Yep.
better.
Yep.
You know.
That's why I call it the game one loves forever. There, Omar. No, I'm just kidding. Little
Yep.
shameless plug there. Yeah, I mean, it's you can pick it up anytime. It's a lifetime sport. I've said that you can hopefully we can play it until we're 80 years old, and you know,
I
definitely.
agree. I agree.
And I'm glad you kind of found the inspiration through your Canelo or your friends or just seeing other athletes play this game later in life. You
Yeah,
know, I mean, I also think it's great networking. You know,
definitely.
I mean, or even to get to know your friends better, or become closer, reconnect. I think I've said that 100 times already on this. So, um, yeah. And what? So that's the craziest shot you've seen. What would be the craziest shot you've had?
It's hole 14.
Mm-hmm.
Ansel Hoffman, we just talked about
Mm-hmm.
earlier.
Yep.
And this is when I first started playing golf, and I think this is maybe one of the reasons why I was like, all right, I really like this course. I really like this hole. It's what is it? A par three, 110
Mm-hmm.
yards,
Yeah. Yeah.
probably.
It's anywhere from 110, 124.
But it's
It's
it's a elevated uh,
green.
green.
Yeah.
So not only you're hitting 100 out, but
Yeah.
you gotta land it.
You got to land it. It's elevated green, so you can see the top of the flag, whether it's white, red, um, blue. Yeah, and then you just kind of pick your yardage or pick your club and just kind of swing right and hope
Yep,
for it.
yep. I hit that when I first started golfing, and I think that's when I had that feeling. And recently, I also played that course again, and I birdied. So that was
Nice.
a really good feeling. It was wow, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to to
Yeah.
take it to the next
Yeah.
take it to the next step.
Yeah, that's I remember that as a kid too, or in high school. Growing up and being able to play Ansel for like $10 when you're a junior, right? So yeah, I always remember like always wanting to play that hole, but because either we started late or getting back to hole 14, usually we'd always make it because the sun went down, whatever reason, right? Because in high school you play 9 holes, and I always remember wanting to get back to play 14 because it's just so fun. And you always want to hit like 2 balls or a couple balls just to have it. I mean, it's always nice when you hit that first one and it's like perfect. It'll be up there. And I was like, how you drive up to that hole
Yeah.
and you kind of just like you're waiting. Everyone's like looking, like, was it
Who
good? Was it?
who
Yeah.
got the
Who got
closest?
closest? Yeah.
Yeah, that is
Or
true.
or you think like that's gonna be really good, and then you drive up to see how it is.
You
So the
wait,
anticipation,
yeah.
yeah.
You
And
went
then
with
no,
it.
and then nobody's on the green, and you're like, what the hell happened? Like,
It's a
where's everybody? Yeah, yeah. I agree. That's fun. I'm glad you birdied that.
thank you, and
That
hopefully many to
hole.
come.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And real quick, I'll just say, I know we're coming up on it here, but the craziest shot I've ever seen, and I hope I haven't said this before, but was Apple Mountain, hole number 2. It's an elevated tee, so that means the tee box is way higher than the green. So I think elevation's like 100, maybe like 200 feet high.
Oh wow.
If you're playing from the blues way back, which I always do because I mean you're hitting a 56 degree anyway, no matter how far back you go. Anyway, it was me and my buddy. I think we're in high school or right out of high school, just kind of playing, and we got paired up with this older couple, and the older lady, we tee off. No one's really close, so we go down to her tee box, and she hits it, and I don't know, she's maybe like 70. Maybe she was younger. She just seemed old at the time, right? Because when you're 18 years old, everybody's old. 30's old when you're
Oh.
18. I know, and now we're both over that. So, yeah. So anyway, she hits it and shanks it. I mean, nowhere near. I mean, shanks the heck out of it. Literally hits a tree,
Oh wow.
hits the tree, and so you think, oh, she's done. Rolls down the trunk onto the green and into the hole. And I'm like, she's like, oh my, she's like, did that go in? Did that go in? I'm like, oh my God. Like, And that's the only hole in one I've ever seen in my life.
Oh wow.
So that's all I have to live by is this crazy ass shot that, and that's the only, and we even attested for her so she could have in the paper.
Oh really?
That was a hole in one. I was like,
You
I
have
mean,
to test
well, I mean, yeah, you have to have someone,
with like a
yeah,
witness.
because otherwise, if you're by yourself, they won't. I mean, you could say you got a hole in one, but they won't like post it or keep track of it or whatever they do. But yeah, that was the craziest. I
That must
mean,
have been an awesome feeling for that lady.
oh yeah, I mean for sure because she shanked it, and
Yeah.
there was no way that that should have been anywhere close to the pin in general, the green. But it was. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I mean, I still can. I can still see that shot.
That's probably like a one in like a billion shot,
Oh, it's
right?
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's got to be like
I
super.
mean, the fact that it rolled down the trunk, like it fell, so it hit the tree, like dead falls, and then rolls down like the stump and then off the roots into the hole.
Perfect.
I was like,
Perfectly. Yeah. That's so crazy.
oh, I mean, hey, that was, hey, and like you said, she'll remember that shot for the rest of her life. I mean, I
You
remember it.
remembered
I
it.
remember it, and I even hit
Yeah. I'm
it.
sure a lot of people,
So
no, not a lot of people, but a lot of people heard about it, especially
yeah,
up there in Apple
yeah,
Mountain.
yeah. So and that hole's just fun too because it's so elevated. You're hitting, uh, I don't know, 58, 56 degree, and it's just you just drop it on the green. But yeah, so I mean that. Thanks again, Omar, for coming.
Thanks
That's
for having me.
yeah, that's episode 3. Appreciate you helping me on my journey with the podcast, and appreciate you telling everyone about your journey with golf. And yeah, so thank you everyone, and that is episode 3.
Thanks
We'll
for having
see
me.
you guys next time.
See you guys next time.